This is Act 1, all parts, in proper English and Cockney.
I'm getting chilled to the bone. What can Freddie be doing all this time? He's been gone 20 minutes. Not so long, but he ought to have got us a cab by this. He won't get no cab until 11:30, missus, when they come back after dropping their theatre fares. But we must have a cab. We can't stand here until 11:30. It's too bad. Well, it ain't my fault, missus. If Freddie had a bit of gumption, he would have got one at the theatre door. What could he have done, poor boy? Other people got cabs. Why couldn't he? Well, haven't you got a cab? There's not one to be had for love or money. Oh, Freddie, there must be one. You can't have tried. It's too tiresome. Do you expect us to go and get one ourselves? I tell you, they're all engaged. The rain was so sudden nobody was prepared, and everybody had to take a cab. I've been to Charing Cross one way and nearly to Ludgate Circus the other, and they are all engaged. Did you try Trafalgar Square? There wasn't one at Trafalgar Square. Did you try? I tried as far as Charing Cross Station. Did you expect me to walk to Hammersmith? You haven't tried at all. You really are very helpless, Freddie. Go again and don't come back until you have found a cab. I shall simply get soaked for nothing. And what about us? Are we to stay here all night in this draught with next to nothing on? You selfish pig. Oh, very well. I'll go. Now then, Freddie, look where you're going, dear. Sorry. There's manners for you. 2 bunches of violets trod into the mad. How do you know that my son's name is Freddie, pray? Oh, he's your son, is he? Well, if you'd have done your duty as a mother should, he'd have known better than to spoil a poor girl's flowers and run away without paying. Will you pay me for 'em? Do nothing of the sort, mother. The idea. Please allow me, Clara. Have you any pennies? No, I've nothing smaller than 6pence. I can give you change for a tanner, kind lady. Give it to me. Now, this is for your flowers. Thank you kindly, lady. Make her give you the change. These things are only a penny a bunch. Do hold your tongue, Clara. You can keep the change. Oh, thank you, lady. Now, tell me how you know that young gentleman's name. I didn't. I heard you call him by it. Don't try to deceive me. Who's trying to deceive you? I called him Freddie or Charlie, same as you might call yourself if you was talking to a stranger and wished to be pleasant. 6pence thrown away. Really, mamma, you might have spared Freddie that. Phew! Oh, sir, is there any sign of it stopping? I'm afraid not. It started worse than ever about 2 minutes ago. Oh, dear. If it's worse, it's a sign it's nearly over. So cheer up, Captain, and buy a flower off a poor girl. I'm sorry, I haven't any change. I can give you change, Captain. For a sovereign? I've nothing less. Gone. Oh, do buy a flower off me, Captain. I can change 1/4 crown. Take this for 2pence. Now, don't be troublesome. There's a good girl. I really haven't any change. Stop. Here's 3 halfpence, if that's any use to you. Thank you, sir. You be careful. Give him a flower for it. There's a bloke here behind taking down every blessed word you're saying. I ain't done nothing wrong by speaking to the gentleman. I've a right to sell flowers if I keep off the curb. I'm a respectable girl, so help me. I never spoke to him except to ask him to buy a flower off me. Oh, sir, don't let him charge me. You don't know what it means to me. They'll take away my character and drive me on the streets for speaking to the gentleman. There. Who's hurting you, you silly girl? What do you take me for? It's all right. He's a gentleman. Look at his boots. She thought you was a copper's nark, sir. What's a copper's nark? It's a copper's nark, as you might say. What else could you call it? A sort of informer. I take me Bible oath I never said a word. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Do I look like a policeman? Then what did you take down my words for? How do I know whether you took me down right? You just show me what you've writ about me. What's that? That ain't proper writing. I can't read that. I can. Cheer up, Captain. Now you floor off a poor girl. It's because I called him Captain. I meant no harm. Oh, sir, don't let him lay a charge again me for a word like that. You charge? I make no charge. Really, sir, if you are a detective, you need not begin protecting me against molestation by a young girl until I ask you. Anybody could see that the girl meant no harm. Course they could. What business is it of yours? You mind your own affairs. He wants promotion, he does, taking down people's words. Girl never said a word to him. What harm if he did? Nice thing a girl can't shelter from the rain without being insulted. He ain't a tech. He's a blooming busybody. That's what he is. I tell you, look at his boots. And how are all your people down in Selsey? Who told you my people come from Selsey? Never you mind, they did. How do you come to be up so far east? You were born in Lisson Grove. Oh, what harm is there in my leaving Lisson Grove? It weren't fit for a pig to live in, and I had to pay 4 and 6 a week. Oh, boo! Live where you like, but stop that noise. Come, he can't touch you. You have a right to live where you please. Park Lane, for instance. I'd like to go into your house in question with you, I would. I'm a good girl, I am. Do you know where I come from? Hoxton. Well, who said I didn't? Blimey, you know everything, you do. Ain't no call to meddle with me, he ain't. Of course he ain't. Don't you stand for him. See here, what call you have to know about people what never offered to meddle with you. Where's your warrant? Yeah, where's your warrant? Let him say what he likes. I don't want to have no truck with him. You take us for dirt under your feet, don't you? Catch you taking liberties with a gentleman. Yeah, tell him where he comes from if you want to go fortune-telling. Cheltenham, Harrow, Cambridge and India. Quite right. May I ask, sir, do you do this for your living at a music hall? I've thought of it. Perhaps I shall some day. He's no gentleman. He ain't to interfere with a poor girl. What on earth is Freddie doing? I shall get pneumonia if I stay in this draught any longer. Earl's Court. Will you please keep your impertinent remarks to yourself? Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to. I beg your pardon. Your mother's Epsom, unmistakably. How very curious. I was brought up in Large Lady Park near Epsom. Ha! What a devil of a name. Excuse me, you want a cab, do you? Don't dare speak to me. Oh, please, Clara. We should be so grateful to you, sir, if you found us a cab. There, I know he was a plain-clothes copper. That ain't a police whistle, that's a sporting whistle. He's no right to take away my character. My character is the same to me as any lady's. I don't know whether you've noticed it, but the rain stopped about 2 minutes ago. So it has. How didn't you say so before, and us losing our time listening to your silliness? I can tell where you come from. You come from Hanwell. Go back there. Hanwell. Thank you, teacher. Ha. So long. Frightening people like that. What would he like it himself? It's quite fine now, Clara. We can walk to a motor bus. Come. But the cab? Oh, how tiresome. Poor girl. Hard enough for her to live without being worrited and chivied. How do you do it, if I may ask? Simply phonetics. The science of speech. That's my profession and also my hobby. Happy is the man who can make a living by his hobby. You can spot an Irishman or a Yorkshireman by his brogue. I can place any man within 6 miles. I can place him within 2 miles in London, sometimes within 2 streets. Ought to be ashamed of himself, unmanly coward. But is there a living in that? Oh yes, quite a fat one. This is an age of upstarts. Men being in Kentish Town with £80 a year and end in Park Lane with 100,000. They want to drop Kentish Town, but they give themselves away every time they open their mouths. Now I can teach them. Let him mind his own business and leave a poor girl. Woman, cease this detestable boo-hooing instantly, or else seek the shelter of some other place of worship. I've a right to be here if I like, same as you. A woman who utters such depressing and disgusting sounds has no right to be anywhere, no right to live. Remember that you are a human being with a soul and the divine gift of articulate speech, that your native language is the language of Shakespeare and Milton and the Bible, and don't sit there crooning like a bilious pigeon. Oh! Heavens, what a sound! Oh! Gone. You see this creature with her curbstone English, the English that will keep her in the gutter to the end of her days. Well, sir, in 3 months I could pass that girl off as a duchess at an ambassador's garden party. I could even get her a place as lady's maid or a shop assistant, which requires better English. That's the sort of thing I do for commercial millionaires, and on the profits of it I do genuine scientific work in phonetics, and a little as a poet on Miltonic lines. I am myself a student of Indian dialects, and are you? Do you know Colonel Pickering, the author of Spoken Sanskrit? I am Colonel Pickering. How are you? Henry Higgins, author of Higgins's Universal Alphabet. I came from India to meet you. I was going to India to meet you. Where do you live? 27A Wimpole Street. Come and see me tomorrow. I'm at the Carlton. Come with me now and let's have a draw over some supper. Right you are. Buy a flower, kind gentleman. I'm short of me lodgings. I really haven't any change, I'm sorry. Liar! You said you could change £0.50. You ought to be stuffed with nails, you ought. Take the whole bloomin' basket for 6p. A reminder. Oh! 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 Got one at last. Hello? Where are the 2 ladies that were here? They walked to the bus when the rain stopped, and left me with a cab on my hands. Damnation! Never you mind, young man. I'm going home in a taxi. 8p ain't no object to me, Charlie. Angel Court, Drury Lane, round the corner of Michael John's oil shop. Let's see how fast she can make her hop it. Well, I'm dashed.